Namaskar and welcome to GEMS NPS International School. GEMS NPS was established in 2005 with a vision and a mission. The vision was to prove the identity of Assam at an international level by exhibiting a Nobel laureate, Bharat Ratna or an Oscar winner. And the mission is to provide opportunities to the students of Northeast by setting up a special international residential school which will train students with the skills needed to develop in them a fiercely competitive edge with a global perspective. Today, I can proudly say that GEMS NPS is the only school in the entire Northeast which provides good systematic education with an underlying stress on exposure to global thinking and a well-rounded education. GEMS NPS students grow to be confident enough to pursue only the best opportunities, not only nationally but internationally as well. Our students have had the opportunity to experience a certified astronaut training at NASA, USA. We hope to initiate student exchange programs with the schools in UK, Australia and Dubai. Already our students have brought laurels to the schools in international cyber and mathematics Olympiads. Our well-qualified team of teachers from all over India has helped to enrich the curriculum delivery through their own experiences. Ongoing professional development makes our teachers continually upgrade their classroom strategy in order to keep abreast with the rest of the world and meet the best academic goals. Each member of the school team works in partnership with parents to enable students to achieve their very best. This commitment to partnership plays a major role in ensuring the success of the students. In the words of former President APJ Abdul Kalam, learning leads to creativity, creativity to thinking. Thinking gives us knowledge and knowledge makes you great. GEMS NPS is committed to the goal of recognizing students as individuals and ensuring that they get the best opportunity to blossom through meaningful and relevant learning provided by their committed team. Here the students of GEMS NPS International School embark on the tour of the wonderful fun city of USA, Orlando. Famous for old age home with eye-capturing views all around. Now they're entering the Disney World, a land where fantasies turns into reality. Students board a ferry boat to proceed towards the entrance of the Magic Kingdom and Adventure Island of the Disney World. They are enjoying the beautiful sights and scenes all around and capturing the same in their lenses. They are waiting in a queue to enter the gate. This is the main entrance of the Magic Kingdom, from where the exotic and amazing adventure begins. Students are moving along with the crowd towards the castle, which is worth mentioning. People of different ages and different cultures are seen. Now they're on the way to enjoy the different adventurous rides. they are enjoying the thrilling rides of Disneyland. Students also had an exciting experience at the Hollywood studios of Disney World and the Carnival show, where they enjoyed the street dance. The street dancers were just amazing. This visit to the Disney World was an experience that none of the students are likely to forget. The next day, students of James NPS International School started their journey to NASA in Cape Canaveral. The John F. Kennedy Space Center is the U.S. government installation that manages and operates America's astronaut launch facilities. This is the entrance of NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center. Students of James NPS went to explore John F. Kennedy Space Center, gateway to the exploration, discovery, and understanding of our universe. James NPS students also got the golden opportunity to get ATX training from the John F. Kennedy Space Center. Now the students are inside the Museum of NASA, eagerly viewing the bountiful evidence of man's exploration of space and learning about human spaceflight. Slides, projectors, and videos are giving us the detailed information about the great astronauts of NASA and about their journey towards space. Students are eagerly witnessing the sights of the Museum of NASA. This is the rocket garden of NASA, where a famous scientist, Fred Lee, highlighting the students with the basic information about NASA, like how it came into an existence, what is its mission, how astronauts feel in space, and many more.
So that the satellite can pick it up. And that was to get us to the moon. That was in July of 1960. At that time, they had no idea how we're going to get there. Well, eventually they figured that out. We're going to go into low Earth orbit, and you're going to read about all this in the Saturn V building, but we're going to get into low Earth orbit, we're going to dock and get everything all together, and then we're going to go out into space, out to the moon. But we didn't possess those skills. We needed to learn how to do all that. So a year and a half later, in December of 1961, they announced Project Gemini. And that was the program where we were going to learn about orbital rendezvous, we were going to learn how to dock, and we were going to learn how to walk in space. So if we needed it for Apollo, we can do it. So once again, we had to go to the military. They used an Atlas rocket again, but this time they put a military warhead, a dummy warhead, an Agena warhead on top, and that was the piece that they would rendezvous with and try to catch up to. That was their target, so to speak. How about the astronauts? Well, they took an even bigger rocket, an intercontinental ballistic missile, Titan II. They put a can on top, a capsule, and they put in 2 Gemini astronauts, because Gemini was the 2-seater. And then that became a Gemini Titan II rocket. The first 2 launches did not have people on it. The third one had 2 astronauts, the veteran, Gus Grissom, and a rookie by the name of John Young. John Young is the only astronaut who can say he flew Gemini, Apollo, and the space shuttle. In fact, if you were to get that DVD video in the gift shop, Moonwalkers, you can listen to the conversation, because he and Charlie Duke were walking on the moon, and they received a phone call from Houston telling them President Nixon just signed the new program. Space Transportation System, which you know is the shuttle. He flew that first mission, but he learned about it when he was walking on the moon. Now, I don't want to give you a lot of math, but this rocket is 109 feet tall. The rocket in the background is a Saturn I block. That is 224 feet tall. And if they stood that up next to this one, it would be more than twice the height. You would actually have trouble seeing the top of it. When you see that Saturn V at the end of the bus tour, that's 363. That would be more than triple the height of that one. So that's laying down as well.
Students also walked up around the base of Mercury Redstone and the entire rocket garden. Now the students are proceeding towards the most thrilling and joyful experience, the shuttle launch experience. This is the view inside the shuttle launch simulator, where we can see the ISS, that is International Space Station. These are the different orbitals displayed in the NASA Museum, which had once visited the space. It has been displayed year-wise to encourage the visitors. Our students visited every part of the museum and gathered a sea of knowledge about the mysterious space and unique space flights. Our students are enjoying lunch with the famous astronaut, Mark Lee. It was not only a simply lunch, but also an interactive session.
Satellite called Magellan. We designed the patches ourselves, each one of the crews, and for this one we just put a ship on there to signify Magellan. Second one was a Japanese Space Lab mission. Took Dr. Mori on board. He's the first Japanese astronaut. We did about 45 different experiments in material science and life science to try to understand how bodies adapt to space and also how they adapt coming back. As you might expect, we have to study that because when you're up in orbit, you lose a lot of muscle mass and you also lose a lot of calcium out of your bones. And these effects have a lot of applications to other diseases such as osteoporosis and things of that nature. So that's why we go up there and we study these different effects of zero gravity. You'll see this in the movie, but I got to fly untethered in space, which means I disconnected my safety line from the shuttle. Got to fly a jetpack up there. They made me fly it because I helped develop it, so they figured if it wasn't going to work, it'd be my fault. It was a lot of fun though. That jetpack is now worn by everybody who goes on a spacewalk up on Space Station, because if you become disconnected up there or you have a failure of your tether line, you're going to be on a really, really long spacewalk, all right? Because there's no lifeguards. There's no.
Mark Lee was educating students with the help of video clippings and pictures about the lifestyle of astronauts in the space.
STS-82, which was the second of 5 servicing missions we've done to the Hubble Space Telescope. We've done a total of 23 spacewalks to Hubble. We did 5 on this mission, and I got to do 3 of those. So over the course of the movie and everything that's you're going to see in just a minute, you can go ahead and cue up the movie. We're going to talk about spacewalks, how we train for them. We actually train underwater. A lot of people ask me, go ahead and get the movie started, to talk to me about what it's like to be up in space. It's a lot like swimming. All right, in fact, we do a lot of training underwater, and then we go in this big water tank and we get ourselves neutrally buoyant. I watched this launch, and everything I did from then on was to get selected to be an astronaut. All the degrees I took, every job I got was to get selected. We followed up Mercury with Gemini, then Apollo, and about 6 times we went and landed on the moon. You'll see a person bouncing around pretty easy here because gravity on the moon is only 1/6 of what it is here, even if you have on a 300-pound spacecraft or spacesuit. Now, a shuttle launch, we're going to show you how you get in. Imagine that your chair is stuck into the wall about 6 feet above the ground over there, and you got to crawl up into it, and then you got to have some people help you push yourself down into the seat. We've got 4 people on the flight deck. We hook up our parachutes. We make sure all of our communication straps, these people are standing vertical because the shuttle is right on its tail now. And for a shuttle launch, a few of you have probably done this shuttle launch experience, we light off the main engine 6 seconds beforehand, and it makes the whole stack tilt forward about 2 feet. So you see the nose of the shuttle here. It's moving about 2 feet this way because they're cantilevered off the back, comes back to vertical, and we fire the bolts that let us loose from the launch pad, and the solid rocket boosters take off. Altogether, we developed 7 million pounds of thrust. The vehicle, external tank, solid rocket boosters all weigh 4.5 million pounds. By the time we clear the tower, which you'll see here in just a second, we're already going 100 miles an hour. Right there, we're 100 miles an hour, and we've only gone our length on the way up to 17,000 miles per hour in 8.5 minutes. So it's a good ride, all right? It's a lot of fun. During this stage with the solid rocket boosters on, you saw the people bouncing around. If you're in a shuttle launch experience, you'll notice that it was very bumpy while the solid rocket boosters were there. I think one of the more remarkable things is we burn 20,000 pounds of solid propellant every second, and we also burn 1,000 gallons of fuel every second. Here's Marcia Ivins. She has the longest hair of anybody in the Corps. We have a lot of astronauts that really don't have the same problem that Marcia has. Here's Gordon Fullerton with a hairbrush, and he really doesn't even know what the hairbrush is for. Now, because of the speed we go, we have 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets every day, 24-hour period. This one just kind of symbolic of going to bed. You get in your sleeping bag and you can float all night long if you want. You can put your arms inside, you can Velcro your sleeping bag upside down, right side up to the ceiling, to the floor, anywhere you want. If you don't Velcro your hands down or stick them inside the bag, your muscles just naturally take them out in front of you. That's where they just naturally go if you just kind of let go of everything. Here are Dave Hilmers, Pierre Thuet. They're getting into a launch and entry suit. We really don't want to land in the water like they used to in Apollo, Mercury, and Gemini. We want to land on a runway. So if you look over on this screen, over to your right here, imagine the runway is across the screen like this. We come in above 50,000 feet, perpendicular to the runway, In this case, we could either make a right or a left, but we're going to make a right-hand turn. And right about now, we're about 20 degrees of dive, about 300 miles per hour. And we're going to make a big right-hand turn, 7 miles in diameter. What's that? Probably 11 kilometers in diameter or so. So we come around, and finally, we line up with the runway. We're still at 20 degrees of dive, 300 miles per hour, about 15,000 feet. And we're aiming out here in the swamp right now. Because what's going to happen at 2,000 feet is we're going to start bringing the nose up, start aiming for the end of the runway, put our landing gear down about 400 feet above the ground, and we're slowing up very quickly now. We're down to about 200 miles per hour. It's called Space Adaptation Syndrome, SAS. We got an acronym for everything. All right, so it's probably more due to fluid shift and the fact that you don't have any good orientation. It is motion sickness. All right?
This is the world's largest rocket ever made, the Saturn V. These are few of the photographs of the famous astronauts. A diagrammatic presentation of space shuttle processing is displayed. This is the Astronaut Hall of Fame, where students got ATX training. That is astronaut training experience. Students are standing in the main entrance of the hall, anxiously waiting for the training.
We have 4 projectors at 90-degree angles, and there's one.
Inside the Hall of Fame, students were given information about the uncertainty of space.
Diameter, very light ball. It's painted with regular latex paint, and that's our projection screen. She's held up by 3 microfine cables. What makes this amazing is that we can get actual downfeed live. Let's say there's the tsunami in Indonesia, 3 hours after it occurs, because the satellites get it, then they transfer all that data into pictures. We can get it within 3 hours, real time, so that's pretty cool.
The famous red spot. Actually happening on the red spot is a rotating.
Oh yeah, exactly where it is. We can do space. We can do a lot of Earth. We can watch the migration of the great Atlantic sea turtle, shark migrations, tsunamis, earthquakes, hurricanes, all of that. Isn't that cool? There are only about 50 of these in the world. NASA felt that it was important for Kennedy Space Center to have one, so yay, we got one. Isn't that cool?
Ripped the wayward space traveler into roughly 21 pieces prior to impact. Shoemaker Levy 9 delivered a rain of chaos onto the cloud tops of Jupiter's southern hemisphere.
Here, the lady trainer is demonstrating the gravitational pull and its effect.
If you would please spin.
Students were divided into 3 groups under 3 instructors where they underwent different trainings and activities.
What we're going to do is we're going to counterbalance you. You must wear a harness while you're on this. The harness will fit just like a climbing harness.
Here, the students are experiencing a thrill where the space orbiter during an emergency crashes and also affect the gravitational pull.
Stress on the harness to move the cage.
Students were enjoying the thrill of every activity to its fullest. is the Museum of Hall of Fame. Here, the lady trainer is educating the students about the past legendary astronauts and their experiences along with the past space programs.
Now, on Alan Shepard's launch, when we were launching him into space, we had never launched a man before. So we were very excited. So what NASA did is they called all the newspapers, magazines, and television networks to come out and, photograph this or film it. But they didn't know what they were looking for. So we told them, don't worry, it's easy to spot. The rocket is tall, black, white, and red. You can't miss it. We told them, don't worry, it's easy to spot. The rocket is tall, black, white, and red. You can't miss it.
This is the space capsule Gemini, which was sent into the space by NASA. The trainer is giving information about the space capsule.
Be very tall. In fact, the limit, the height restriction was 1 inch taller than how tall I am. All right, so they couldn't be very tall, and you couldn't weigh more than 180 pounds to be one of the Mercury astronauts. On Gene Cernan until he squished him inside the capsule.
The things which were taken by the astronauts to the space are displayed in the museum.
All right, and this suit was worn in a 2-week mission.
Here, the lady trainer is explaining about the space orbiter. Through various demonstrations, the lady trainer is educating our students about the survival strategies of astronauts in the space.
And they did 4 missions. And these missions, the astronauts stayed for about a couple weeks. They actually launched just fine. They did their mission. When they came back, is when their shuttle exploded during reentry. And none of the astronauts survived this explosion. But had they, we would have been able to find them and get them safely. All right, so we cooked something for him called a hero's breakfast. All right, so we wake him up hours and hours and hours before his launch, and we serve him this humongous breakfast. Anything he wanted, he got. So he chose bacon, eggs, steak, orange juice, and lots of coffee. Because coffee has caffeine, and we wanted him to stay awake. All right, so we drank 4 cups of coffee. It's a compilation of many different positions. We just kind of narrowed them down into 1 or 2.
Here, the students are inside the space shuttle replica, where they witness the various functioning of the orbiter.
They actually have windows that they would look through, but each they get in the space shuttle's actually up vertical, like this. So it'd be really hard to get in here. All right, now you're standing in the mid-deck. All right, there's a flight deck above us, and then there would be a lower deck below us, but that is just for storage. The mid-deck is where the mission specialists belong. So if we're deploying a satellite into space, and that's their job, is their specialty is to deploy that satellite.
Students even got a chance to sit on the driving wheel of the orbiter.
You're going to come up when it's your turn. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to slide the rocket onto the tube. Don't force it, slide it on gently. At least halfway if it'll fit. If you're having a really hard time, one of us will help you. Once the rocket is on, you're then going to use the bicycle pump. You're going to look at this dial. Pump it up to 10. How much? 10.
The students of GEMS NPS International School designed, constructed, and launched high-power air rocket. It was a fun-filled, thrilling and educating session. These are all the projectors and video which demonstrate the happenings of different planets.
But they are now visible from outer space.
An ocean current is a continuous movement of water. Currents are created by wind, gravity, or differences in temperature and salt.
It takes only 8 minutes for a surge of increased radiation to reach the Earth from a solar storm.
Fifth planet, gaseous.
This is the biggie, the heavyweight, the giant.
The students are returning back after gathering immense information from the Space Center. They are very happy. It was a lifetime experience for them, no doubt.